cone, through the oxygenator, through the arterial line filter, through the entire AV loop. And what we need is a vent. Coming back. Okay? And you can feel that the bag's starting to fill up with CO2 a little bit because right now I don't have a vent. So I'm going to go to my manifold line and I'm going to open to the arterial line filter, close to the arterial line filter, but open to atmosphere, and that's what I'm using as my vent. Okay? And the reason you want to kind of blow the bag up with the CO2 is you want to test the integrity of the bag. Sometimes these things will ship and they'll have little holes in them. So if the bag's not blowing up, you have to wonder if there's a hole in the bag somewhere, and you want to find that out before you go to prime it. Okay, now I've had students, when I ran bags, forget to vent and leave the room. And they come back and guess what happens to the bag? Okay, and they go to drop prime, and what happens is these things will tear along the seam. It'll separate. Okay? Now, another thing that will cause the bag not to blow up is if you forgot to clamp your cardioplegia line or your recirc. Okay? So you can see the bag blows up. Instead of doing antegrade and retrograde, I'm forcing the CO2 through the filter antegrade. Okay? You're going to put your suction and vent in place. You must at the least have your suction in place and set your occlusion on your suction, because you're going to use that to evacuate the excess CO2 out of the circuit. So at least you have to have an occlusion on your suction. You'll notice I picked a suction line that has that lure lock connector. And all these days you probably were wondering why we had that lure lock connector on some of our sections and not on others. Now you know why. So you're going to do your 10 minutes. You're going to put your vent in place. Probably try to put your cardioplegia in the head. And I picked BCD to set up today, so we set up myotherm last week, right? So we'll do BCD today. So now I've got my lines ready, and I'm going to discontinue my CO2. So you're going to turn your gas off. Okay. You're going to turn your stopcock off. You got two of them, the chimney and the vent. Because what I want to do is trap the CO2 in the circuit. Okay? So, gas off, stopcock off, then what do I do? Gonna isolate a filter, right? How do we occlude a pump head? So we're working on a tether today, so I'm going to go ahead and put one on the inflow. And then I'm going to put one on the outflow distal to my flow probe, right? Mm-hmm. And then what do I have left to do?
Change the ones.
Gas off, stopcock off, isolate the filter, occlude my pump head, and then tank, right? Right? Mm-hmm. Did I forget anything? No leaks. Right? No leaks.